Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today I'm going to show you how to restore an old stick shift knob. So let's get started. For this video, I'm going to be using a Jeep Wrangler YJ. This is the transfer case knob for the four-wheel drive that we're going to be restoring. You can see here this thing is in bad shape. It's got a lot of damage here. It's been exposed to the elements. And you can see this is all fogged up and all scratched up. So we're going to have this thing looking brand new. So that's what we're going to be using, but this same method would apply on any shifter knob really that needs to be restored, unless it's leather. So let me show you what you'll need to do this. For this, you're going to need some 2000 grit wet sandpaper that we can use to remove the damaged resin or acrylic on the knob and any of the surface imperfections. Next, you're also going to need well, in this case, it's a bench grinder, but a grinder or a buffing wheel. In this case, we have the grinder, but with the buffing wheel on it. I would recommend using no less than an 8-inch buffing pad. I'm going to be using I believe this is a 12-inch. If you go smaller than an 8-inch, you run the risk of actually burning the surface because it's going to be running too tight and too hot. So I would say go no smaller than 8 inches, so that way you can get a nice polish without damaging the surface. With our wet sandpaper dampened, we're going to go ahead and just lightly, in a circular motion, just work here on the surface. And you can see already it's starting to take some of the imperfections out, because once we get that surface nice and smooth, then we'll be able to go ahead and buff it to a nice polish and restore it to looking the way it should have looked when it was new. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this and we'll be right back. Just gently working that out. You want to take your time, make sure you get all the edges, and you can already see here it's already starting to look a lot better. The images are clearer, and then once we buff that, it'll be nice and shiny. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up a little bit, and then I'm going to rinse all this off, and then we can move on to the knob itself, and then this the rust in here and the metal as well. We'll clean that up as well. I went ahead and just washed it off, wiped it down, and it's still kind of hazy because it hasn't been polished, but you can see already it's a lot clearer. Doesn't have that grainy and dull look to it anymore. So now the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to take the same sandpaper very gently, and we're going to go ahead and clean this damage off here. So let me go ahead and wet the sandpaper, and then we'll do just a light scuffing to remove that, and then we'll polish that back as well. Okay, we have the sandpaper dampened, and this is very gently because, as you can see, there's texture on here. So you don't want to damage the texture, so just very lightly. Circular motions. Very gentle circular motions. Once again, we're using 2000 grit sandpaper. You don't want anything more coarse than that that's going to cause any damage. So I'm going to work on this a little bit. We'll be right back. You can see it's already starting to remove that. It's starting to already remove that. So we'll keep going and get that off. You can see there most of the imperfections have been removed. We're just taking our time very gently. So I'm going to go ahead now. We're going to rinse that off. Make sure there's nothing left. And if there is, then we'll touch it up again. But just very gentle. Once again, very, very thin, wet sandpaper so we're not damaging the texture here, as you can see on here. So let me go ahead and wash this off. We'll be right back so we can take a look at it. Went ahead and washed it off, wiped it down. And it's got some dull spots where we removed the imperfections. But you can see, though, at least it looks nice and clean. It's already looking a lot better. So once we hit it with the buffing wheel, we're going to polish this up, and we're also going to go over the actual handle itself and get those dull spots where we sanded, get those buffed back to the nice black finish. So now the next piece is right in here where we have the rusted out metal. I'm going to go ahead and clean that rust off, and then we can get ready to buff this. I went ahead and changed out to a 400 grit wet sandpaper, so that way we can get this surface rust off of here. So same thing, just be patient and just work it. Circular motions as well, so we can get that surface rust off of there. You could also use like an actual rust remover as well. But for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use just the wet sandpaper. It'll do the same job. It might just take a little bit longer. You can see it already starting to come out right here. Already starting to clear it off. I'm going to go ahead and work on this. We'll be right back. Okay, you can see there, it's all cleaned up. So we are ready to go ahead and polish this up and bring back the shiny luster finish on it, and that'll wrap it up for restoring this knob. Okay, we've gone ahead and we've buffed it. You can see it looks really good. Got a nice shine to it here. Still has a little bit of some swirl marks from the buffing wheel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this Meguiar's Mirror Glaze, the swirl remover, and we're going to go ahead and polish it with that to kind of take off any of that and give it the final polish. And that should pretty much wrap it up for restoring this. Well, this pretty much wraps up this video on how to restore a shifter knob. I hope this video helped you out. Please send me any questions, any comments you may have. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate all of the support, so please like this video, subscribe to this channel since I'm always posting new content, and we'll see you next time.